What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. We are live on YouTube, Rumble, X. Here to talk Packers, here to talk draft, here to talk a little free agency as we are, 5 days away from the legal tampering period. We got Emilio joining us from Tennessee. We got Jacob in Wisconsin. We got Tim in a snowy Green Bay right now, which I think both you boys got. I think Jacob got quite the blizzard, and then it rolled in on you guys too, right, Tim?
Yeah, I got the tail end of it. It's going to stop snowing soon. Not nearly as much as Jacob got. Jacob, you got like almost 2 feet, didn't you?
It wasn't that bad. It was in my part of Hudson where I was, we got a good foot, maybe 13 inches. It was insane. And the plow didn't come to my house until like 1:30. So I was out there in the morning shoveling like an old lady.
Oh, you must have thought you were working the late shift at the office.
I was cussing, dude. I was it's like
Jacob
first world problems.
Till lunchtime. What a bad day that is.
Tim,
I may have milked it a little bit.
I know you're wore out from driving, so it might just be that, but double check your mic. It's a little quiet, and usually you've got the deepest voice of us all. So just give it a glance. If not, no big deal. So there it is. Oh, all right.
Yeah.
So we got several things to get into here tonight, boys. Obviously, we had a move that took place earlier with a tender that was put, not tender, the app you're used to there, Jacob. We're talking about a transition tag, I guess you could say, a player tender, so you know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. All right, so Zayne Anderson returns to Green Bay. Minimal snaps, but played very well down the stretch for the Packers. Tom Pelissero tweeted out the Packers tendered safety Zayne Anderson as an exclusive rights free agent per source. Anderson stepped up on defense amidst injuries last season, starting 2 games and recording his first interception. You guys know, with his opportunities, there's not many people on the Packers roster that played better than him. He actually finished third highest according to PFF with an 80.8 PFF grade. We kind of talked about this early in the offseason. I'm glad Zayne Anderson's coming back because when you look at the safety room, if Bullard is going to predominantly play in the slot, Keyshawn's going to stay outside. You've basically, who do you got? You got Evan Williams, right? You've got our boy Xavier McKinney, and then you'll have Zayne Anderson backing those guys up. It seemed like he was third on that pecking order. And, of course, we got Oladapo as well. So I think this is a great move, and I added some information here. I went and done a little research. Exclusive rights tenders equate to a minimum salary. Anderson, who has only accrued 2 accrued seasons in the league, will make $1.03 million in 2025 if he makes the roster. The money is not guaranteed, so the Packers can still cut him if they find a better player at the position. So this to me seemed like a win-win, man. You're talking about $1 million flat for a guy who's your third highest graded player according to PFF. And I know it wasn't a whole lot of snaps, but it wasn't a tiny amount either. I mean, he played 122 snaps. So what's your all's take on that?
Psyched. Ever since we found out he's a real person, right?
Right. Let's say that.
And he proved that he's more than just a special teamer. Played a little defense for us, a couple of games we needed him to step up. He made some plays. So I think this is a no-brainer. This is, if you're not happy that we got Zayne Anderson coming back, I don't know what to tell you. I'm pumped. Hopefully he takes another step too this season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the stronger part of our defensive secondary is the safety unit. So you might as well keep your floor, keep your base, know what you got. Like Tim said, special teams. And it's kind of like reminds me of that A.J. Dillon one. Obviously, it's not the 4-year sign him on a cheap thing because he's been on your team for all 4 years, all that stuff. But still, get the guy at a low price, set the base and keep moving forward.
Definitely. I love it, man. You guys know we were big fans of Zayne down the stretch there. I thought he filled in nice. If he hadn't got that concussion, he probably wouldn't have gave that spot back there, and who knows what would have happened if Bull didn't have to jump back from the slot to the safety spot. I think that really did hurt him down the stretch there. Let's see, Jacob in the chat. Go ahead. Read your own comment there, Jacob.
I think some really handsome bearded fellow said Anderson and Burns turned out to be real. What a great day,
Unbelievable.
A bunch of conspiracies coming true.
Hey, it happens, man. It happens. All right, the other talk of the day here, DK Metcalf officially on the trade block. I love that it was listed as he's officially on the trade block. I thought he already was, according to a bunch of different sources. And I know there's some people running victory laps saying, see, the guy's report was right. No, the guy was reporting that the Packers were willing to give up a boatload for DK, right? If I remember correctly, and that's what Matt Schneidman said. I asked around, and there wasn't any merit to it. So it doesn't mean DK isn't going to get traded. It doesn't even mean that the Packers wouldn't be interested. It's just it sounds like obviously he jumped the gun there and just assumed that the Packers were interested. What you'll see sometimes too is teams will give information to reporters to try to push that narrative along, right? Yep. I mean, it's lying season. We say that for a reason. If the team goes to Corbin, whatever his name was, and says, hey, the Packers reached out to us and they're really interested in DK, even whether they didn't or not. My sources are telling me the Packers are interested in DK. If there's another team like the Patriots are rumored to be interested, they're going to go flying in there and that's just going to accelerate the process. You know what I'm saying? Amelia, you know what I'm talking about, man. You trying to sell 2 enchiladas on the street, you let them know, I got a guy behind you. He's ready to buy those enchiladas. You better get
yeah, I'm buying them out. I mean, give me whatever you have left at that point. But it's the truth. I mean, you got to figure out the money somehow. And at some point, we get to the point of not having, we're worried about the money, worried about it. I think it can be done. Do we want him is the question. I mean, is it, it's like that Wolf of Wall Street thing. You're trying to sell me on it. I get it. But sell me this pen. The dude's trying to sell me the pen. Like, what do I need? I need a receiver. Do I need a receiver? Yes or no? Like that. Yep. That's where we got to be at.
He's got a year left on the deal, right? This is the last year of his contract, right? So if you're trading for him, you're essentially, a 1 year tryout, basically.
Yeah, that's what Spot Track has got tweeted here is trading wide receiver DK Metcalf. The new team acquires $18 million non-guaranteed, so that's the cap hit, $18 million. The dead cap the Seahawks are going to absorb is $21 million. That saves them $10.8 million against the cap. The 27-year-old will be seeking a contract extension, currently carrying a $27 million valuation in our system. So, again, Spot Track in the past, those numbers have come in a little lower than what players get on the open market. With the trade, I think there's a little less leverage for the player because not only does the team got to give up compensation, but they got to agree to the contract itself. And on top of that, I don't know, it's just I can see teams coming in around this number or a little lower than this number. My question to you guys is, what do you think? I'll start with you, Jacob. Would you like to have DK Metcalf for $18 million against the cap this year, and then on average $27 million per year moving forward? And of course, there's got to be draft compensation there as well.
No.
What is no?
Too old for this. Basically said, "Yo quiero Taco Bell, no quiero DK Metcalf." I agree. Emilio, that was for you, buddy.
Perfect.
I I don't. Somebody said in the chat like they don't see him doing a 1 year deal. I don't see that either. I don't want him to do anything above. 27 million a year. No, I don't want to do that. Even if the introductory year is the 18 million. I mean, somebody in the chat, I believe, also asked what was the most. Yeah, Mick Knight here. He said, what was the most salary would the Packers pay for one free agent, not considering the other free agent or other years? I mean, that's a pretty wide based question, but I don't want them to spend more than $13 to $15 million on a single player in free agency. This draft has a lot of deep positional value, especially at the spots that we need help in. And I'd rather us do some sort of either trade back. If we're going to trade somebody, obviously, I hate saying it, but Jair for even if it's a third and a fourth or something like that, even a fourth and a fifth. I mean, I just would rather see us build ourselves through the draft again.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, boys, around the horn here. Tim, what do you think about it, man?
Yeah, I'm with Jacob. I listen, I've always loved DK Metcalf since he came into the league. Guy's a monster. There's no question that he still got it, and he probably will have it well into his 30s. I mean, the guy's missed like 11 minutes of football in his entire career. He's always available. He's a monster. That being said, though, I'd feel a little bit better about possibly trying to make a move for him if this draft class wasn't so stacked at the receiver position. I feel like whether it's early or mid to late rounds, we can snag at least one or two in the draft if we really wanted to. And then, even if we don't want to go that route and we do want an established guy, there's a handful of names we've talked about before that are going to be, looking for new teams here. And I just think for the price and the way the contract is right now, I would say no at these numbers for DK.
Xavier McKinney, 4 years, $68 million deal, March 11th of 24. I'm not gonna push 17 million even for a wide receiver. X got 17 per 68 divided by 4. I'm not gonna touch anything higher than that if you're trying to get me to pay for a receiver. And like I said, I'd really like to be around 10, but I get it if you got to pay up to 12, 13. But I think that's a good baseline. If X is, top safety in the league, I don't think a free agent wide receiver that's upset that wants to leave his team, wants to, get out of there, wants to be out of there. I don't think he's getting paid top dollar. You're not holding all the cards there.
Yeah, and for me, it's real simple. Like, people were talking about DK Metcalf like he's a number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
He wasn't even the best receiver on his team. Like, JSM, this is the issue is you can't get everybody the football. And when you break down what he's done, and we talked about this about a week ago, I guess it was, DK Metcalf had 108 targets for 992 yards, right? If you took Romeo Doubs and you gave him the same amount of targets as DK Metcalf got last year, Romeo finishes with 908 yards and the same amount of touchdowns as DK Metcalf. So now you say, okay, if you're saying you got to choose between DK and Romeo Doubs, you can say, well, DK Metcalf, he's a greater vertical threat. I think he's going to be a better receiver. What are you basing that off of? And if the answer is my eyes, I'm sorry, I'm not listening. Like, you can't just say, oh man, he'd look good on the football field. You see how big he is? You see how muscular he is? Man, I love the earring dangling. Like, I want that dude. $27 million per year for basically the same numbers as Dobbs if he got those same amount of touches. And here's the issue is, like, how are you going to guarantee to get him the same amount of touches that he got in Seattle? If he gets the same amount of touches that Romeo Doubs got or Jayden Reed got, which is more realistic than him all of a sudden getting 110 targets, right? If that's the case, guess what? His numbers are going to be the same as Romeo Doubs, and everybody's going to be talking about, we need to fire Goody. This was a stupid move. That's exactly what the conversation would be. Unless you're foreseeing something for DK Metcalf that he's just going to propel himself into another stratosphere. And I keep hearing the other thing is, well, he's going to be playing with Jordan Love. Jordan Love's a way better quarterback than Geno Smith. Look at the numbers. It's not like Jordan is hands down way better, been way more productive than Geno Smith. Well, that's because he had DK. Then how come DK ain't running out here with 1,200 yards? Because here's the main issue I got with it. If you take those targets and you give them to DK, you end up with – this is what you end up with DK Metcalf. You end up with 108 targets, 992 yards receiving, and like 5 or 6 touchdowns. That's what he had last year. If you give Jayden Reed those same amount of targets, here's what his numbers look like. 1,244 yards receiving and like 8 or 9 touchdowns, way more yards, like to the tune of 300 more yards. Oh, by the way, Jayden Reed's running the ball too. Like, the issue we ran into was Jayden Reed's targets went way down. And they went way down because teams were starting to kind of hammer down on him, right? We're talking about getting Tucker Kraft the ball more because that's the only thing. We broke that down earlier. If Tucker Kraft had gotten the same amount of targets as Brock Bowers, he would have set the NFL record in yardage, I think it was. Like, it's just, you got to kind of look at the picture as a whole. I think people just fall in love with names, man. And if this was 20 million, maybe 18 million, I'd go, you know what? Vertical threat, Christian's not going to be here. I could talk myself into it. When you're flirting with 30 million per year for a guy that's going to give you the same production that Romeo Doubs gave you, I'm sorry, man. I'm drunk to taste that chicken. I can't do it. Like, it's something's got to make. On top of that, you're giving up draft capital. Like, I don't know. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say I got 2 good comments just before the topic kind of grows old here. All Good says, which receiver in the draft class would you take over Metcalf? Now, Tim, you don't get to answer because we all know exactly what's going to happen here.
Jack
No,
Nash.
but honestly, Nash. All right. Well, I personally, I'll steal Tim's thunder. Obviously, a guy that's 6'5", that's 200 plus, that can run a 4.4 40. That to me is a guy that I would take. Not necessarily over Metcalf, but if I had to take a guy that has 3 to 4 years of a contract that is completely pennies on the dollar, or if to pay for Metcalf, I would totally go with a Higgins. Is it Higgins or Higgins? Have we figured that out yet?
Higgins. Yeah.
Higgins. Okay. Pat Bryant is a guy that I like a lot. Obviously, we talked a lot about Jalen Noel. I think they're different types of receivers in that aspect. The guy from Tennessee that we talked about, Deontay Thornton, I believe is what his name was. And there's Torrey Thornton, I believe, from Colorado State. Torrey Horton. Yeah. And then Deontay Thornton. Yeah. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, for me, and I would get your all state too. Like when you say which receiver in the class would you take over Metcalf, it's not a 1-for-1. Yeah. Like you're literally giving up a draft pick and $27 million in cap space for it, as opposed to not giving up a draft pick and taking someone that could be $4 to $5 million against the cap. You know what I'm saying? Or 6 or 7, whatever you call it. But Tetero McMillan, hell yeah, I would take him over giving up draft compensation and $27 million for DK Metcalf. Right. Here's a couple that aren't that popular, right? Emeka Egbuka. Yes. I would take him, right? Luther Burden. I would take Luther Burden over him and giving up the draft compensation and everything. There's several different wide receivers, and I know some people like Matthew Golden's another one. He's versatile, over 100 snaps in the slot, play predominantly outside. Those type of guys, and if the argument is, well, we don't need a slot receiver, Jaden Reed can play Z. So you can pop him out at Z, leave Dobby at the boundary X like we have, and rotate Dontavion Wicks back in. I'm not giving up on Dontavion Wicks. I'm going to laugh my rear end off if he comes out this year and returns back to his rookie year when he was the highest graded receiver on the team. I'm gonna roll if he comes out and fixes the drop issue, because I'm telling you, this is Davante Adams all over again, them trying to run him out of town that quick too. So if the price is right and you're not giving up that much draft compensation, if you're telling me it's closer to $20 million in a 5th round pick, you can talk me into that for DK Metcalf. I'm not anti-DK. I'm just simply saying we need to temper the expectations if we think he's going to come in here and be Terrell Owens. He's not Terrell Owens. He looks like Tarzan, don't get me wrong, but he hasn't played like Tarzan since he's been in the league. Go ahead, Emilio. What do you think, man? I get Tim's take.
Yeah, I think it's just, all this comes down to projection, right? Where for 1, the draft picks, and 2, the player that you're signing. We're mad at Kenny right now because we projected that he would have been tearing it up and he didn't on his contract. What happens if DK, we project that we want him to be good and it doesn't turn up? We still spent $20 million on that. I'd rather project onto, someone coming out of college, give him 4 years on the contract and go. I think that, Goody said it before, having the talent come out of college with the skills that they have at receiver, you're playing 7-on-7 when you're like 5 now. I mean, they're always catching the ball, they're always throwing it. So I think it's a little bit different in terms of being ready. But I would go with a lot of receivers, basically all the receivers until Restrepo and maybe Tez in the top 10. I'd probably go with.
Go ahead, Tim. What do you think, bro? Anything else you want to add to the DK talk here?
Obviously, if we're talking, draft crush receivers, yeah, Jaden Higgins is my dude for sure. But like I said, I feel kind of like Jacob does, man. There's a lot of talent. I mean, Ricky White, UNLV, Ty Felton out of Maryland. I think you mentioned Pat Bryant.
Trey Harris.
Yes, Trey Harris.
Yep. Clayton, you mentioned Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State. I mean, there's lots of depth at that position group. I think I don't think it's as simple as spin around blindfolded and just throw a dart at the dartboard or anything, but I think you can grab 1 or 2 of these guys and move forward pretty confidently regardless of how things shake up. You have a competitive receiver room at camp, and you go into the year that way rather than overpaying for good, like you say, Clay, right? I mean, Metcalf is a damn good receiver, but I don't know about the money here for him. So, and like you said, giving up the draft capital that would go with it. So,
all right, here's a little different wrinkle, and I'll just let Clay answer unless you guys really want to. But Johnny B says saw a trade proposal that if McMillan Teteroa drops to the 18th spot in the draft, and Ja and our 23rd for 18th to move up and grab him, would you do it?
Put my little mini cheese head on, boy. I would in a heartbeat. You kidding me?
Yes. Okay.
How about just 23rd for 18? Straight up, no Ja.
Well,
You're telling me there's a chance.
I don't know if we can get him to do it, Tim, but it's going to be a tough sell.
I tried it on PFF 3 times. Eventually, I had to force the trade, but it went
guys,
through.
you want to save a few $1,000,000 and trade back?
Throw in Maxx Crosby.
Took it out.
The other thing that gets me too is like you'll mention a prospect like we'll talk about it here in a minute. A latest mock, I believe it was from the 33rd team or maybe PFF. And it's like you got a young player that's 23 years old. He's too old. Okay, he's too old. But Metcalf isn't. Like, what do we – you know what I'm saying? Yeah, there you go, right? We know how Goody likes his – Goody DiCaprio over here, right?
No way.
I'm just saying for the right price, I would love to have DK Metcalf. It just doesn't to me. Here's the thing, too. You know what this also feels like? Go test the market. Go get trade options, right? Get somebody go find somebody that's going to give you the contract you want, and they'll give us the compensation we want. That's a hard deal to get done. So maybe, just maybe, there's not much there, and they decide we just want to part ways with them, and we get them for a 5th or a 6th round pick. That would be a lot better than, a 3rd rounder and obviously a contract of $27 million per. That's just, I don't know, man. And Chris Godwin, you guys know I've been very vocal. Chris Godwin has had better production than DK. And you mentioned that to some Packer fans, especially the younger crowd. And they're like, you're crazy if you think Chris Godwin's better than DK. Go look at the numbers. Go look at the numbers and get back to me. It's I'm telling you, you're falling in love with the dude who dyes his hair green, got the earring dangling. And I'm telling you, if you say, show me DK Metcalf's top 5 plays of his career, people struggle to find 5 plays. They'll find the one of him chasing down that tackle, and I love that play. Love that play. Probably my favorite play from DK. But how many times have you seen DK just dominate a game, take over a game the way like a Mike Evans does? Or, name any great receiver. How many times have you seen that happen? Tay back in the day, right, with Green Bay. You don't see DK take over games, and he's not even the best receiver on his team. And here we're gonna give him $27 million per. I don't know. It just seems off to me, man.
His receiving is tough.
If McMillan dropped to 18, wouldn't you think that the Seattle would have picked him anyway? Like if they're having a wide receiver problem, wouldn't they just pick the best wide receiver available and move on? You know what I mean? Get a new 4-year contract with a dude that's huge. He's a freak. He's probably not going to run the fastest, but it doesn't matter. He's a physical receiver. So I do think that, it's just out of the cards, really.
Now, to me, this makes a lot more sense, okay? According to DraftKings, the Packers have a plus 190 odds to be Davante Adams' next team. The Chargers are next at plus 500, followed by the Niners at plus 650, Rams at plus 750, Steelers at plus 950, and the Broncos and Patriots are at 1,000. A reunion with the Raiders actually lands at like a 12-1 odds. So, we showed the market value for him was $13.2 million according to Spot Track. You don't have to give up a draft pick. You get a guy who can come in and teach these young receivers. That's the other thing. Look how many personal fouls DK Metcalf's gotten on the football field. And there's some fans who go, I like that. You do, huh? You do. You like getting flagged 15 yards. I'd love to see that tweet. I'd love to see you live tweet during the game when he gets a 15-yard penalty coming out. Boy, that was awesome.
Those same fans are the guys that wanted to run Quay Walker out of town when he had the 2 most influential, personal fouls ever. By the way, Chris N with the super chat, 1 of 5. Have no idea what that means, Chris. But
we've already got a 2 of 5 that has showed up as well, Jacob.
I see that. So YouTube has got a goal thing, right, where you can like set an incentive for super chats. So what we said tonight was if we get 5 super chats, we'll do a 7-round mock at the end of the show, rapid fire.
Well,
so Christian said,
we've got 2.
Oh,
Ron Sandville said, let's go.
They're running out of. You only got 16 minutes left to before the goal ends, so it is on a time.
Really
it is also on a time crunch as well. So I mean,
can I be real? I'm kind of hoping it runs out.
Yeah. Wait. What is happening? What did I miss? I swear I've been on all the shows lately.
They literally just added it, I think, today.
Hey, thank you guys for the super chat. We appreciate it, man. You
Absolutely.
guys are awesome. And I don't hate mock drafts. I hate the reaction I get from them anytime I do a mock. my mentions blow up. I get emails, I get texts, and it's like, oh Lord, have mercy.
Oops.
Go ahead, Jake, hit it. Now you're good, man. Will, I've never even seen this name before.
I've never seen this gentleman either.
Never seen it before.
Willen Al Swiderski.
Oh, come on, Josh.
Josh Martin with the fake super chat. That's a fake super chat, ain't it? Is that what that was?
I swear it is, right?
Is it
Is
real?
I don't think that one counted, Josh. I think it has
just
to be
typed
$2 or up.
$1 into the chat.
I think it has to be 2 or up because we're still at 3 right now. So, no.
Get ready to go.
This show
What is this?
Bates said,
Bro,
got a
I've been
special
so
request.
fast.
Hold up here, Bates. Hit him.
Duval.
Just the tip, though.
Get ready to go.
Oh, Bates, you're too
Oh,
kind,
wow.
man. All you guys. Will and Al.
Absolutely.
Will and Al's that's got to be the coolest name on the interwebs today.
Well, we figured out a way to make money on the podcast. Just-
God,
Look
these
at
boys-
this.
Oh man, look at this. Jason Y in here too.
yeah, we're doing a
Oh.
mock here in a minute. That's happening.
Do it.
Give everybody the shout out here in rapid
Too old
fire.
for this.
Jason Y, do it. Appreciate the super chat, buddy. Chris Ian said there's 4 or 5. And of course, 2-0 for this. Do the most unrealistic mock
I
ever.
like that.
Let's trade back every pick until we're just picking in the 7th round. All right.
We're taking
Trade
32
all of our
picks
picks for one.
Tim's like, I got to go to bed early, boys. I've been on the road.
I was gonna say, I thought you said rapid fire. We're gonna have 37 picks in the draft.
Okay, now it's getting overhand. Now we got Carly in here. 12 for this is donate
Lord.
this to science.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
I can't take this. Donate to science. All right. So anyway, Tay may end up in Green Bay. I don't know. We'll keep you tuned. Evidently, we got to do a mock here in a second. So
Wash your hands, wash your butt, man. That's it. That's all.
that's right, Tay. Exactly.
Man.
A couple other things we had on the docket here before we jump into the mock draft. Obviously, we're going to be doing one. 33rd team put this tweet out. I think it's definitely worth mentioning multiple times. We talked about the yards per carry allowed. The Packers were tied for second in the league last year. Their defense, run defense, in yards per carry allowed. Well, the 33rd team tweeted out percentage of opponent rushes for 0 or negative yards. The Packers were not. They'd only 22.5%, actually tied for 7th with only 22.5%. So, Halfley, boys, the pass rush makes sense now, don't it? That was the goal, was to get out there and let's dominate, stop the run, and make the team beat us through the air. And I think it panned out pretty good for the Packers for most of the season. So I thought that was a cool statistic. Another thing here, we'll hit real quick, and then we'll jump into the mock in a second. This was interesting. As PFF said, landing spots for the top DBs in our latest mock draft. This may be a little hard for y'all to see. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So Travis Hunter went 3rd to the Giants. Jahdae Barron went 14th to the Colts. Jahdae Barron went ahead of Will Johnson, who went 16th to the Cardinals. Nick Emenware went 18th to the Seahawks. That's been, I'm trying to think, what's the comp they've been using?
He's
Safety.
more of a safety, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a safety. I'm just trying to think of, there's a comp. Derwin James, I think, is the comp everybody keeps saying. So he should be a stud. Siobhan Ravel went 23rd to the Packers. Now, obviously, on our big board, Emilio, I see you've got it sorted here by corner.
Oh, yeah, you can switch it back.
Oh, you're good. So he's the 4th best corner on our board. We got Travis Hunter, then Will Johnson, then Jahdae Barron, then we got Siobhan Ravel. Is it Shaven or Siobhan? I thought it was Siobhan.
I think Siobhan. Everyone I've heard.
Okay. Siobhan Ravel Jr. is sitting in the 27th spot. So I would have no problem with that as long as they've got confirmation. And if the Packers draft him, they will have gotten confirmation that he's completely healthy, right?
Yeah.
So I would be okay with that. He's an outside corner more so than anything else. Jahdae Barron's versatile, and Will Johnson is an outside corner. So I don't know. That kind of surprised me that Will Johnson fell below Jahdae Barron in this mock. Did that surprise you guys too? Because we got Will in the 12th spot.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's just it's that time of year, man. These things are going to happen. We're going to be off by a slot or two, but it is a little shocking, I think, because I think a lot of people had him pretty high on their boards. So obviously PFF sees that a little differently.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
And I mean, if you need a nickel, if you want someone that's more versatile, you're going to go with Barron, right? Maybe you need that chess piece, and he understands it, right? Well, some of those comments he was saying, you got to be more physical in the slot. You got to be a little more patient outside, all that stuff. Dude knows what he's talking about. So, I mean, if you find a guy, take him.
Yeah. All right. So, again, rounding that out too, in the first round, Malachi Starks went to the Rams at 26, and then Maxwell Harrison makes it in the first round for the Ravens, 27th. Obviously, he tested really, really well at the combine, and his stock seems to be soaring right now out of Kentucky. Tim, I'm going to let you take this one, buddy. I need you to report on this for me. This is the last time we're going to talk about it. Thank God. So Ian Rappaport, breaking news. The Raiders are making star edge
Maxx Crosby,
the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL per me and Tom Pelissero. It's a 3-year deal worth $106.5 million with 91.5 guaranteed. That's almost fully guaranteed. What's that?
Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just pretending to be surprised. Go ahead.
There it is. Hey, that's a good guess there.
That's a good one. Yeah. Maxx Crosby. Yes.
So anyway, Maxx Crosby is off the market. All right. Moment of silence for Maxx Crosby going to Green Bay.
We were going to trade away
Tim,
all our
moment of silence, Tim. Jeez, Pete.
It's disrespectful.
All right. Maxx Crosby. It has passed us by. Y'all ready to do a mock, boys?
Absolutely.
All right. We're switching it up tonight. All right. So get ready for this. We're actually going to use the good folks over at Pro Football Network. All right. Guys and gals were saying, hey, y'all should switch it up because we keep kind of getting the same picks, if you will, So let's put this on the screen. I want to make sure that everybody can see this okay. Emilio, you got your board up?
Yes, sir.
Tim's got his cheat sheet with Jaden Higgins' name wrote down 5 times. We're good there.
Hey, I got more than one receiver on my list. Come on now.
All right, let's see. Can you guys see this okay? Are we good? Can we see that? All right?
Ooh, there we go.
There we go.
There we go. I was cooking.
Here's the guy.
Real nice.
All right. So again, this is using Pro Football Network. It'll take some getting used to. It looks like we can click on the offense and we got the individual positions. Same thing with defense. And, of course, special teams they've got listed separate as well. So I've got to now be able to, all right, we're going to hit resume draft. We're going to go rapid fire, okay? We don't want to spend a whole lot of time. But you guys did this. If this show sucks and I get hate mail because we did a mock draft live on the air,
Worth it.
We've
Absolutely worth it.
You got hold to the wrong stuff.
There you go. We're blaming the crackhead. All right. So here we go. Resuming the draft. Let's just take a quick glance back and say, oh, we got a trade already. No, sir. We're rejecting trades. All right. Reject. Unless it's a first. Look at here. Oh, hold up a minute. Philly is offering the 32nd pick, the 64th pick, and the 2026 second. I think we should stick and pick. Don't you guys?
Stick. They got to stick and pick.
Damn, Jacob got excited about over there. All right, so Cam Ward went number 1 to the Titans. Will Campbell, number 2 to the Browns. Will Johnson, a lot of Wills up here, huh? Will Johnson went number 3 to the Giants. Abdul Carter, number 4 to the Patriots. Mason Graham, 5 to the Jaguars. Shador Sanders goes to the Raiders at 6. Tetero McMillan goes number 7 to the Jets. Travis Hunter drops all the way to 8th to the Panthers. That's wild. Shamar Stewart went 9th. What do you think that means? What is this? What is that little?
It's a trade.
Okay, it was a trade. Got it. So the Falcons took Shamar Stewart with the 9 spot. Number 10, Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle, went to Texas. Was from Texas, went to the Bears. Matthew Golden, wide receiver from Texas, goes to the 49ers. Armand Mimbo, Emilio, he's gone, man. He's gone. He goes to the Dolphins at 12. Wow. Ashton Jeanty goes number 13 to the Dallas Cowboys. Ty Warren goes number 14 to the Colts. Tyler Booker goes number 15 to the Saints. Derek Harmon, 16 to the Cardinals. Colston Loveland, 17 to the Bengals. Siobhan Ravel Jr. goes 18 to the Seahawks. James Pierce falls all the way to 19, goes to Tampa. Mikael Williams goes number 20 to the Saints. 21 is Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State, going to the Steelers. And Jalen Walker, a linebacker out of Georgia, goes number 22 to the Packers. So we are on the clock, gents. What do you guys want to see first in this Pro Football Network mock draft here?
Trade back. Woo.
No.
I'm kidding. We can't.
D-line.
D-line. You want to see D-line. All right. So let's – and here's the thing. The reason I don't like this over PFF is on PFF you can click multiple positions and kind of create a mini draft board. This you can only do one position at a time from what I understand. So Tyleik Williams in the 30 spot sitting there from Ohio State. Walter Nolan, 31. Kenneth Grant, 35. Deion Walker, 52. So if we were to go off their board strictly, it would be Tyleik Williams, Walter Nolan, and Kenneth Grant in that ballpark. Emilio, looking at our board, how would we rank those three defensive linemen if we wanted to go three tech early here, man?
Kenneth Grant would be our highest.
Okay. And then
he's
Walter
at
Nolan.
16.
Yeah. And then Walter Nolan at 25, is that right? Or 24?
Yep.
And then it would be Tyleik Williams. We got Tyleik Williams down in the 38 spot. So
because they already took Harmon.
Yeah. And the difference between where Kenneth Grant is on our board and where Walter Nolan is on their board, I think I would have to go with Kenneth Grant here as well. That's defensive tackle. Do we want to see some other positions here, though? Jacob, who would you like to see then?
I mean, honestly, I thought Walter Nolan right away. So other than that, I mean, you could take a peek at the wide receivers and see who's there and the cornerbacks maybe.
Okay. Wide receivers, we got Emeka Egbuka. We got Luther Burden. And then it drops off to Trey Harris. And the way we got to look at this is when we look at their board, that's showing us when these guys are pretty much going to be taken. You know what I'm saying, Tim? Like we look at the number they've got on them, it's like, okay, we got a little bit of time for like Trey Harris will probably be taken around the 43 spot, somewhere in that range. So
probably take a peek at O-line, interior. Yeah, guards and yep.
Oh, Gray Zabel.
Gray Zabel in the 34th spot. Go ahead, Emilio.
There's just a lot available because when I first saw all the players, I liked that Imanwari was there, Barron was there, and Jahad Campbell was there. So I was almost leaning towards Goody taking another backer.
Okay. Yeah, Jahad Campbell in the 22 spot for them. For us, he's in the 22 spot for us too. So
What
if
about
we were to
corner,
we'll see some corner.
Barron's there too. I mean, like I would not be mad at Barron, but I could also think that he would take a linebacker. I don't know. That's tough.
This is interesting. So
I like
Jahad
there too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So
hold on for hope that Trey Amos might be on the board too when we pick again.
that's a good point. They're at 47. Yep. So we've got Kenneth Grant as our top available, according to our board, in the 16 spot. Then it's Jahdae Barron at 17, just right behind him. Okay. And then after that, Jahad Campbell at 22, linebacker out of Bama. And then after that, it would be Walter Nolan in the 25 spot. Receiver doesn't make sense here to me, according to our board, because Emeka Egbuka is the best receiver available, right? Yeah, him and Burden. They're both sitting in what appears to be the 28 and the 29 spot. So to me, it comes down to Kenneth Grant, all right, Jahdae Barron, or Jahad Campbell. Really, it's Kenneth Grant and Jahdae Barron, with Kenneth Grant being just slightly above him. They're in the same – this is what we're talking about, a cluster, right? So what would your all's cluster buster be?
We need a three tech. That's my cluster buster.
And it's a more important position too, right? Like we talk about that all the time. What do you think, Emilio, Jacob? I want to get your all's take. That's the two we're narrowing it down to. Kenneth Grant or Jahdae Barron. Who would you take?
I'd go Grant.
All right.
I would go Barron, I would say.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Just
plead your case there, Emilio. Why would you go Barron over Grant?
If we're really that far into getting rid of Ja, all right, he's got to go, then we need to replace. We do lean heavily on the nickel in our safety department, which is fine. But I think that if you had somebody that had that inside-outside versatility that could stay on the field and bump if he needed to, I think that would be perfect. I wouldn't be mad at that. And the D-line is deep in this draft. We've talked about it for a while. If we wanted to work our way back up in the second, or, you drop down in the second and take something there.
Yeah. Jason Y in the chat said, who's available at edge? Nick Scourton is the top edge defender, and then Mike Green. Mike Green at 37, but Mike Green he would be in that category too, wouldn't he, Emilio? Because we got Kenneth Grant, Jahdae Barron, and Mike Green back to back to back.
Yep.
I'd hold on. He's probably going to fall, right? I mean,
ideally, this would probably be a trade back just because there's so many options. But we also we never put ourselves in this position to, run a PFF all the time. So you get yourself into, there's a lot on the board here. There really is. And that's why all I'm saying about Campbell is that Goody's not afraid to take a backer in the first round. If everybody doesn't like Quay like they talk about, then all right, let's get a replacement for him that has speed and that, Jahad Campbell only went to the inside. He used to be an edge rusher. He only went to the inside because they had 2 first-round talent edge rushers at Alabama. So they asked him to, take a step back and play backer. So, I mean, the dude's a freak athlete.
God, that's a good
point. What if we traded back with Houston 2 spots? That would ensure we get one of those top 3 players. Right.
Yep.
If we did that to 25, let's see what they'd be willing to give us. So they don't show us a meter. They ain't letting us cheat, are they? They ain't letting us cheat. Let's try for 58 as well.
I bet you they wouldn't, but maybe. Nah.
They said, get the hell out of here.
I bet you if you did the first and the third.
First and the third. Let's see. So we're trying to give up 23 for 25 and 89,
Take
right?
89. Get her done, boy. Come on now. Oh,
hey, I do like that about this.
You got to give him a 7th. You got to give him a 7th or something. Got to sweeten the pot.
All right, let's try it. Tim's like, I'm already over this. This is what I came back into town for right here. This is all right. So let's go 23 for 25, 89, and then you're saying set 250. It's the last chance here, or we're sticking to pick. We're sticking.
Kenneth Grant, let's go.
Kenneth Grant,
pick him.
Run it in. We're going Kenneth Grant with the 23rd pick. So you got you a 3, Tech. I need to keep up with these so we don't overdraft here, right?
Oh, the Chiefs.
Hey, you can hit hide, by the way, Clayton, if you just want to accept the deal later. But if you hit reject, then you can't go back to it. So hit hide.
Hit hide. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at you, man. Know all the technological.
Somebody's been doing mock drafts all day.
Look who we got there. Deion Walker there, Tim. And no, that's because he still has the highlighted on the D tackles.
Let's look at DBs. Here we go.
Yeah.
Ooh, Porter. I like Porter and Strong, but I think Porter would be. What
do we have Ezra right now?
Yeah, I was gonna say Ezra Thomas.
I thought he was higher. I'm not seeing him on the board here.
No, he's
low. Pretty low, huh?
Yeah, he's 70. I'm sorry, 69.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Darian Porter, he's pretty far down, right? Denzel Burke, same thing. Dorian Strong. So doesn't make sense for DB. Linebacker doesn't make sense, I don't think.
Yeah, we blew it because Campbell's gone. Let's get an O-line and build that wall up.
Let's go edge real quick. Jack Sawyer. Where do we got?
Ooh,
Jack
I love
Sawyer?
Jack Sawyer.
We got him at 41. All right.
Princely.
Landon Jackson, we've got at 31.
Dude.
Princely's a little bit lower, right? Amelia, where's Princely?
Yeah, Princely is 48.
Okay. So
Who was
right
the
now,
best, defensive tackle left? Just out of curiosity.
I think that was Deion Walker, I believe.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes, but our pick
double
would
dip
be,
or what?
right. Our pick would be TJ Sanders, though. He's 43rd on our board.
Is he available?
Yeah, he was available. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Just let's look at offensive line real quick.
Yeah.
So right now, Landon Jackson's leading the way at 31. Okay. Offensive tackle.
Oh my gosh! Take the kid from Purdue, please. Let's go.
You like Bo?
Bo?
Yes.
I want to say he was was he lower on ours, Emilio?
He was.
Yeah, we got him in the 68 spot.
Yeah.
Daniel Jeremiah agrees with you, Tim. He's got him in the 47 spot.
Well, that makes me feel better.
Yeah.
He knows what he's talking about.
And none of us do, right? Emory Jones. Not sure.
Remember Holland Pierce, that giant that PFF has him ranked like in the 250s. So that's interesting how the different sites.
I'm going to check interior real quick. All right, let's go interior. Dylan Fairchild. Yeah,
that's not even close.
And then Seth McLaughlin. Boy, the centers went quick, didn't they? Or they just got them ranked lower. Actually, we might be a little higher on some of these centers here.
Take Embo, man. That's Milwaukee's finest right there. Let's go.
Jared
Tulsa East, man. Tulsa East High School. Let's go. Sorry.
Right now, according to the board, it's Landon Jackson. Let's look at Emilio.
I really like Landon Jackson too. Isn't he like 6'8", almost 300 pounds? Guy ran like a sub 540.
Jaden Higgins has entered the chat.
Oh boy.
Here's the guy.
What do we got? So we got Jaden Higgins in the 52 spot, our board. This would be where you would go after him. Let's see if we got Bond higher than him. We do not have Isaiah Bond higher than him. We do not have Anya Manor higher than him, right? So it's going to come down.
Restrepo, right? If we're taking a receiver.
Yeah, Restrepo, I want to say, is a little bit lower too. Restrepo's 60th. So what it comes down to, if we're going strictly off our board, and Amelia, you correct me if I'm wrong here, it's Landon Jackson, hands down, is the best prospect on our board right now. And Jaden Higgins will be second, I believe. Unless you said TJ Sanders, didn't you? You said TJ
Sanders would be second, yes.
But we did already take a D tackle, right? So
that is correct.
Yeah. What do you think, Emilio? How are you feeling about this? Would it be wrong to go Landon Jackson here?
No, I don't think it would be wrong to go Landon Jackson there. I mean, the dude's a freak. What's he, 6'7", right?
Yeah, something like that. That's what Jacob was just saying.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
6'7", 280.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be mad at it. That would be a goody pick all day long. You know, just take the dude that's a monster, replace him with Preston on that side. You know what I mean? Like, get that tall, physical guy on the edge again.
So Turtle says, "Are we Landon Jackson?"
Uh-huh.
All right, so we need everybody. I know some people's already put names in here. I need y'all to go rapid fire for me real quick. Which would you rather have? Landon Jackson, edge defender out of Arkansas, or would you rather have Jaden Higgins, wide receiver? That's the two, right, Emilio? Am I thinking right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We messed up on offensive line big time, didn't we?
No.
Yeah, I was going to try to give Bo his -5 for his RES and see where that put him. See if that would help us at all. That would bring our boy over.
I'm seeing a lot of Higgins here, guys.
That's what I'm seeing too, man. So we know Tim's got 7 burner phones over there right now.
Now we're getting Jackson's catching up here though.
Man,
this is tough.
It is.
Split.
Carly said, "Everybody shut up. We're taking Jack Sawyer." To me, it looks like Higgins. I could be wrong, but it looks like
he was the best guy around.
All right. Is that it, boys?
Good.
Higgins. Hey, the chat has spoken. I just want to be 100% transparent. It's quite the reach for us to go from the 31st prospect down to the 52nd, right, Emilio?
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're doing. But you guys paid for this mock. I'm going to let y'all make this.
True.
That's fair.
All right, here we go. We're going to go Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, with the 2nd round pick. Bang.
Love it.
All right.
Now we need an O lineman.
Bad. Really bad.
Warner.
All right, so we're just going to reject the trades, okay?
Yeah, go away, Minnesota.
Get out of here.
Get out of
here.
All right, so now with the – what pick is this? 87th pick. We've already taken a D tackle and we've taken a wide receiver. Best available according to their board, Alfred Collins, defensive tackle out of Texas, Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon, Kyron Lacey, wide receiver out of LSU, Shamar Turner, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M, and safety Lathan Ransom. So what position we think? An offensive line, boys? That's what we need to dig into here.
Please.
Interior.
So we got a Johnny Cornelius.
That's who we talked about the other day.
Yeah, we did talk about him, didn't we? Where do we have him at, Emilio? A Johnny.
Cornelius.
99th.
Okay. So we're getting in the range there, right? Let me look for Anthony Belton.
I don't think he's very
Anthony
high.
Belton, we got at 147.
Yeah.
And then Tripoli's actually 90th.
Is he really? So he's the highest now?
Yeah, Tripolo.
Yeah. How you say it?
Trapilo. Sorry, I'm sorry. Ozzy Trapilo, my bad.
Here's Logan Brown, the Packers have been linked to. They've got him in the 119 spot, and we've got him all the way down at 410 because of that early consensus big board. Man, we may have to do something there, Emilio. So right now,
too.
Yeah, definitely. Trapillo's leading the way right now. Remember what he's ranked, Emilio.
90.
All right, so we got Dylan Fairchild, Let's see where I got him. If you want to take the second one here, Fairchild's 129.
And
Mark Kendra.
Yeah, Kendra and Frazier.
Kendra's 86.
Boom.
Kendra put up a large amount of bench reps as well.
Okay, and then
That's really
Miles.
get you
He
excited.
was good at the Underwear Olympics, right?
Dellinger's 328.
Okay. So Kendra, am I thinking right, Emilio? It's between Kendra, who was, what was he at again? Luke Kendra.
He was 99th, I believe, and then Trapilo was 90th.
Kendra's 86th. Luke Kendra is out of Cincinnati.
Ah, okay.
So
we're picking 87.
Yeah, this sounds
like
what
my vote is.
Can you check center real quick?
Yeah. McLaughlin.
Yeah, go Kendra. Let's go Kendra.
Yeah, hold a minute. Where's Majors at? Jake Majors, 119. McLaughlin, 167. Monheim. It's Kendra, ain't it, Emilio? Is that what you're thinking, man?
Yep.
All right, we're going to trenches. We're going to go Luke Kendra, guard out of Cincinnati. Makes
Put him on the board.
All right. So now we took a guard. Go ahead, Jacob. What you got, man?
No, I was just going to say it's already past the point where we could get him, but Daryl was talking about how Unamelamelon has 25 and a half sacks in his career. Like, we've talked about how Goot has drafted a lot on RAS and what they could be, the possibility of what this guy could be molded into. I would like to see us possibly grab a couple players where it's like these guys balled out in college. Like, we know they can get to the quarterback. They know they can pressure him, make the hurries, all that kind of stuff. That being said, Aronde Gadsden the second here, they have him listed as a wide receiver. That's a tight end guy. I'm just saying.
That's wild. All right, so let's what do y'all think the needs are? D tackle, wide receiver, and guard is what we've taken so far. What would y'all think would be the needs?
Corner,
and backer. Yeah, good call.
All right, so let's Emilio, you take Hancock, I'll take Parrish. All right.
Parrish was one of the fastest 40 times in the combine. I like Mello.
245, Mr. Hancock.
All right. Parrish is 135. All right.
Mello
Dotson
144. Or I'm sorry, 145.
Yeah. It's looking like it's Parrish, ain't it? Or not Parrish, who we say?
No, yeah. Parrish is, you're right. Parrish is 135. Mello's 145.
135, and we're picking 123, right? Take a quick glance here.
Where's Kaiser's around there? Eh? Oh, Demetrius Knight's still there.
Holy cow, we got Demetrius Knight in the 78 spot.
Hey, you gotta run that.
Oh, that linebacker, yeah.
Yeah, that is like really good value here.
Man, we just signed Zay McDuffie. What are you guys talking about, man?
So Demetrius Knight is on the radar.
I will stick my flag on drafting Mr. Knight. Bring him in here for some competition.
Stick your what?
The flag.
Okay.
Can we just take a peek at safety? Don't everybody shoot me.
Tim.
No, I understand, man, because the slot aspect. The slot,
right? Yeah. Malachi Moore, no.
Sanker, no.
Do you guys not expect Evan and Bullard to take a step, whereas they'll be?
I'm just concerned about depth behind Bullard in the slot. That's so we don't have to put Keyshawn back over there,
right?
In the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's not, boys. Is anybody opposed to that?
What's the chat?
Night. Yeah, guys in the chat
the
shows up.
Paid the cover charge, so we got to at least get their opinion.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Is everybody on board with Knott? Is anyone opposed to Knott? Again, he is on our big board. We have Demetrius Knight Jr. in the 78 spot. Corner, to me, just doesn't make sense here, right?
No, I don't think so.
We could draft a corner, but we're going to be reaching, it looks like. So once again, we're using a different site 3 weeks later, and what happened? We don't take corner early. We find ourselves in no man's land.
They're asking what
Knight's got some great numbers, though, man.
Do you have his coverage grade? They're asking that.
Let's see. His coverage grade. No, I just got the snaps. Do you have the grade? Demetrius Knight.
Okay.
289 covered snaps. He played So he is more of a cover backer, which is kind of what we're looking for. Seems like.
Coverage grade isn't. That's actually pretty good. 74.9 coverage grade.
Wow, we'll take it.
Pass rush grade of 78.5. Run defense grade at 85.4. Sign me up, bro. Let's go.
All right, we're going Demetrius Knight, junior linebacker out of South Carolina with the 123rd pick. We brought back Isaiah McDuffie. That now puts 4 backers on the roster. Am I thinking right? So this will be the 5th backer on the roster, not including Michael Barrett if he's still on the futures. So what you're going to get with Demetrius Knight, man, who knows? You might hit a home run, and he steps right in as your starting backer alongside of our boy Edgerrin Cooper. And if Quay takes a step and we re-sign him and go, all right, Quay's the real deal, now you got a solid base 4-3 with Hopper fighting like hell to try to get in that starting lineup. I love that. So
I can't wait for camp, man. It's going to be fun to watch that position group at camp for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I completely agree. All right, so we went linebacker. Got that out of the way. So we don't need another linebacker, that's for sure.
Can you click on the My Picks tab right there next to the draft results just so we can get a visual picture? That helps a lot.
Yeah, Kenneth Grant with the 23rd pick, defensive tackle out of Michigan. At 54, we went Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. 87, we went guard out of Cincinnati, Luke Kandra. 123, we went linebacker Demetrius Knight Jr. out of South Carolina.
We got to look at cornerback here, don't we?
Got to get back to it, yeah. All right,
ooh, I like Jabbar, bro.
Let's see here. Let's see what we got with Jabbar Muhammad. 229 is where we've got him.
Noel is 158.
Oh, let's go.
Hey, Upton Stout, man, he's undersized, but I'm telling you, he's a baller. Where do we have Upton Stout on our board?
He's like safety though, a little more safety type guy, and he's 5'9", if I'm not mistaken.
Jacob, why are you hating on the little people, bro?
Clayton, don't.
All right, so Upton Stout is at 162. Shut up, Jacob. He's at 162. So Muhammad's leading the way right now. Right, Emilio? What was his ranking again?
Muhammad was one. Oh, I'm sorry. No, wasn't it Noel Williams?
It was Noel Williams. Sorry, you're right.
He was 140, 149, I believe.
158 is what I'm showing.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, 158. Too many numbers. But that Justin Wally dude's 340, so it's a pass.
Yeah. So if we're going corner, this is the first time in this draft that corner lined up with where we're picking. We're picking 160. Noel Williams is 158 on the big board.
Draft him.
Now what we're doing, he's an outside corner, so not that he couldn't play slot, but that's outside corner.
Tim, Upton Stout real quick, from Western Kentucky. He's 5'9", 180, but his grades, dude, 84.4, 80.9, 74 flat, but he plays a lot of slot corner predominantly and has actually done a lot of wide corner. That's an interesting guy. 5'9", though.
He's a hilltopper. I like it.
And that's DJ Reed. That's the same height as DJ Reed, too.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
DJ Reed played pretty good football. So one thing I will mention about
on the board, though, too, like we could pick Williams here. And, there's no guarantee that he's off the board. When's our next pick? 200?
Yeah,
next pick would be 200.
So
I would say my pick will be no Williams here. One thing we do have in the notes, I'm sure you see it here too, Emilio. He did get the bonus at the East-West Shrine Bowl. He stood out big time at the East-West Shrine Bowl. So I think his RAS is in the 7s. So not horrible, but not great. Dane Brugler said he's worthy of the 91st pick, didn't he, Emilio?
Yep.
I've seen you highlight. This is pretty damn cool that I can see what you're clicking on. That's awesome, man.
Been poking in RASs this whole time too.
Have you really?
Yeah.
You're the man. All right. Is anybody opposed to Noel Williams? I see somebody request. Jake O said, what about Edge? Let's take a quick glance at Edge.
We had another request.
Josh Joyner.
The way I look at Edge is like if the draft falls where a best player available in the first round is Edge, sign me up. But you got so many holes you need to fill in the roster that I don't really want. I'm not interested in an Edge outside of the second round. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just going to be another guy to sit at the bottom of the depth chart rather than.
There is a guy from Missouri named Johnny Walker Jr. who actually grades pretty well, has great physical size. I would love to have that dude a little bit later in the rounds. That'd be cool.
Pretty good Scotch too.
Yes.
There you go. little Johnny Walker. That's what Aaron used to drink, and he talked about it all the time. So, all right, boys, that's it. No Williams. Anybody opposed? We good?
Do it.
Good.
All right, here we go. No Williams at pick 160. So we got our corner, and now we're picking 200. Pick 200. What are we thinking, boys? What's a need?
One
here?
of the super chatters was asking for us to check quarterbacks.
Emilio, get out of here.
I'm just saying the dude paid for the draft. Give him his highlight.
Unbelievable. Let's see here.
Look at long snapper too. While we're
I
at
do
it.
like Curtis Rourke. I do like Curtis Rourke.
Oh yeah, look at Jacob. Now he's all excited about talking quarterbacks. Wow,
That's not what I said.
That's exactly what you said, Jacob. We got Rourke in the 123 spot, believe it or not.
Bro, have you seen Curtis Rourke's grades? 6'5", first of all, 223. This year he had an 88.4. Last year he had 78.9. His initial year, 2022, 700 snaps, a 92 flat grade. He was the third graded quarterback in NCAA.
Totally.
If you're going to take a quarterback,
quarterbacks, yeah, Jacob, I'm sure.
We need to look at tackle. Stop playing.
if you're going to take the quarterback, Curtis Rourke would hands down be the one right here.
Yeah.
But I'm with Tim. I don't like the idea of taking a quarterback not named Jalen Miller.
Then why'd you bring it up, guys?
Gosh.
God.
All right. So what do you want to see? Tim, you said?
Tackle.
All right, let's go D tackle.
No, offensive tackle. I'm sorry.
Oh, offensive tackle. My bad. Okay. We got Carson Vincent. We got Crenshaw Dixon. We got Jalen Travis. Those are the top guys. Let's Emilio, let's rapid fire here. You take Carson Vincent. All right.
I just put in his RAS.
Did you really? Was it good?
He had a -5. That is correct. Yep. But that would actually bring him up a little bit higher, but I'm not going to resort. So he is right now 174.
You want me to resort it?
Sure, real quick.
Okay. Where'd you say he well, hold on a minute.
He was 174.
Okay. It should be resorted now. So
nope. Everybody else bumped him down. He is now 175.
What about Crenshaw Dickinson? I know he's a little old for Goody DiCaprio's taste.
We got him at 131. Now his RAS is a 0, so he scored less than a 7, right? Unless something's changed, Emilio.
Let's draft someone with a low RAS and see what the hell happens.
Yeah, see if he understands football, right?
Let's just give it a try. Why not?
Yeah, so we got him in the 131 spot. If we're going to go tackle, this will be the dude right here. We do need more depth. Is there another position we should check before we pull the trigger on Crenshaw Dixon here? Centers. All right.
Who was your guy, Jacob? You had a center that you had your eye on.
Drew Kendall is our boy.
Jonah Moynihan from USC, right?
Yeah, he's gone. Otherwise, Drew Kendall, they've got him here ranked at 305. I think that's crazy because
we have him 174. He's right in front of Carson Vincent.
So Crenshaw Dixon. What's that?
Center or tackle here, right?
Yeah. So Crenshaw Dixon at 131 is definitely leading the way.
Where do you have Drew Kendall? Center.
175.
Okay.
Yeah, so like
worth noting, kind of crazy. It's kind of a rarity. Crenshaw Dickinson has played left and right tackle, so kind of a swing tackle. Food for thought.
Go. Out of Florida.
Yep.
Anybody opposed?
No.
All right, we're gonna go Crenshaw Dixon. Now we're taking him at 200, right?
He has 0 for his RAS score. I think he's right around.
Me too.
I honestly think he was. Let me see if I can pull him up real fast.
Was it real bad, Emilio?
I want to say it was.
He's 24 years old too, so sorry,
there
Goody.
You go. It's the worst Photoshop ever. Look at that.
It's not good. That's not good.
Not good at all.
I'm the king of the draft.
What about Edge? Can we look at Edge real quick? Oh, we already did.
Edge. I'm trying to pull this guy up real quick. He is.
Ooh, Elijah Williams. Johnny Walker. There's my guy.
Yeah. Crenshaw Dickinson had a 3.10.
Are you telling me there's a chance we could have Johnny Walker and Evan Williams on our football team at the same time?
Oh, my God. Let's go.
On the same defense, on the same play.
Let's go. Meet me at the bar.
Get the bar.
Johnny Walker, we've gotten a 276 spot.
Hey, all right.
The name is all we like. Yeah, so I don't know, boys. This feels like tackle here to me, Crenshaw Dixon.
Yep.
Amelia, are you saying that what if we find ourselves in a situation like this on draft night? We're going to have already eaten about 17 cannolis and we're half asleep, right? How do you feel about drafting someone with the 200th pick that has that low of an RAS? Has the Packers ever taken anyone with that low of an RAS? That's the real question.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have. Either you're taking Crenshaw Dickinson, who is 130 and change on our board, with a 3.1 RAS, or you're going to take Drew Kendall at center with a 9.09 RAS at 174.
True.
Got to stick to the board, boys. Got to stick to the board.
What's a position of need, though, Clayton?
Yeah, but what's best available?
True.
Based on
Would you jump the board 40 spots to get a athlete, a freak athlete at a center, at a second string tier 2 position is the question.
I want a guy who can play football. I'm kind of over the.
I want a guy
We've
that
seen a
Jordan
lot of
Love can
freak
go.
athletes.
I want a guy that Jordan Love can go. Don't let him hit me. Okay, guy.
Trust me, I'm all for building the wall, guys. I get that. I'm just saying, we just need to figure out who's
You are. You're actually building one yourself right now, aren't you?
Yeah, I actually just completed it. 10. Thanks.
Nice. Nice. It's done.
Jacob, you read this one for me here, sir. Actually, this one right here, Carly Ray in the chat. Go ahead, Jacob. Take that one away.
Measurables aren't everything, Clayton. All you boys should know that. Wow.
Wow.
Shots fired.
Just the tip.
That's terrible.
We just rapid fired everything off there. Here, I'm gonna hit him. I got one right here.
You hurt me, Brad.
Secrets are no fun. Secrets hurt someone.
Just the tip, though.
All right, we're going Crenshaw Dixon. Of course, this guy's name is Dixon after having that conversation. All right, Crenshaw Dixon. I think this is a quality pick. So we're doing it. Got another tackle. Or another
I was in the pool.
It was shrinkage.
It was shrinkage, It's a thing,
All right.
guys.
So we've taken. Let's take a look at the picks here. It's been a fun draft, man. I'm glad y'all did this. Kenneth Grant. All right. At the 23rd pick, defensive tackle out of Michigan. Jaden Higgins at 54, wide receiver at Iowa State. Luke Kandra at 87, guard out of Cincy. Demetrius Knight Jr., 123, linebacker out of South Carolina. Noah Williams, 160. He's a cornerback out of Cal. And then Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, offensive tackle out of Florida at 200. So we got two more picks. What do y'all want to see?
Receiver.
Edge.
Tim said receiver. Is that right, Tim?
Ooh, Elijah Badger. What do you guys think about him?
I'm just curious who's still on the board this late.
Yeah, I kind of am too. I think Chisholm, right? Where do we got Chisholm? I want to say he did pretty well. See, we got him in the 194 spot.
He graded unbelievably, but he played against St. Kate's School for the Blind.
If we take a receiver right here, and I'm not saying – I don't think Tim was saying to take one. He just want to see him. Think about draft night. If you take a receiver right here, that means Malik Heath ain't making the team, right?
Well, then take receiver off the board because that's
Right.
my dog right there. What about tight end?
Yeah, there you go. That's definitely
Look at
something.
tight end.
Anything catch your eye here, Emilio? Padone, Bartholomew.
Pinkerson, I believe.
What?
He is 220. I remember seeing his name.
Ooh, there's Dupree.
CJ Dupree.
Yeah. Didn't he have a pretty good combine?
He put up the most bench reps out of almost anybody in the whole combine. He was, I think he had 32 reps.
He's
308 on that
308,
board.
yeah.
It's rough. Yeah, tight end don't look like it makes sense, boys.
Nope.
All right, so let's pop back to center real quick. Eli Cox. Now I know he had a pretty good combine, but he's still in the 300 spot for us.
Actually, go back to tight ends. Matavo from UCLA. He's at 180 on our board.
Oh yeah, 180.
Yep.
180, and we can get him in the 200s.
Yeah, we can get him with that 251st pick. So earmark that one. That's good value there. Did you just burp?
No, I made a fart noise because I don't like the guy.
Could be a crackhead, but got hold to the wrong stuff.
All right. So what on defense do we want to look at? You want to take a glance at corner and safety again? You think that'd be smart?
There's my guy Elijah Huzzy and Mac McWilliams. If you look at edge, that'd be interesting.
Where did we have Huzzy? I want to say he was kind of
281.
What?
Sorry.
And Mac McWilliams is 258.
Which
Waxter. Isis Waxter. Waxter, I hardly know her.
Whoa.
Ransaw, 415. Mac McWilliams. Where's Mac at? Where we got Mac at? None of these make sense, do they, Amelia?
I thought I just had it. 258 is Mac. And then Huzzy is 280, 281.
Longer beam.
What about O'Donnell Fortune?
Yeah.
He graded out pretty well in
There's a
PFF.
guy.
I want to say we had him kind of. No, 246.
246.
We're looking for those guys hovering in the upper 100s. You know what I mean?
Right.
Cypress Hill here. Let's see.
Can you
what
look
we
at
got.
edge?
Hold on just a second. Let's look at safety real quick. Take a quick look at safety. Shiloh Sanders.
Shiloh.
There it is. There's the one. Where's he at on our board? 418. Daddy can't help you, Shiloh. Sorry. Let's go right. Winston Wright. No. Gallup. No. None of these. Will tell you what. This ain't looking good, is it?
Kiper, in a way.
Robert McDaniel. Any of these grab your attention, Emilio? I'm not seeing.
Negative.
Yep. All right. So let's go to edge, like Jacob was mentioning. This is where it's getting tough. We're not going to get hung up on the 239 pick. We're not going to do this.
Johnny B. Drew Kendall is still there. Is Kendall still on the board?
Talking about center?
Yes.
Yes, he is. But where do we
Where
have
do we have him
Bring
again?
him in. He's at one set.
there it is.
I got a card over here. I'd like you to run for me, please.
He's at 201. Drew Kendall is.
Is he? I'm feeling 174. What the hell's going on out here, Emilio?
I don't know. Wait, you have him at 174?
Yeah.
What the hell's going on out here?
Thank you, Coach. Seriously, you really got him in a two? Are we looking at two different boards here?
No.
What was that? No.
I don't know. Let me resort this thing.
All right, just double check me there. And he had a heck of a combine too. Maximum 5-point bonus there.
Oh no, there we go. No, it reset for me. 175. I think I've been putting in too many numbers. Yeah, I like Drew Kendall there.
That's
I
my
do
vote.
too. Drew
And
Kendall.
with a 9.0 RAS, let's go.
Who said that in the chat? I want to give him credit. There we go. Johnny B, right?
Johnny B. Yeah.
Johnny B, good eye, man. Good eye there, dude. We're going to go Drew Kendall with the 239th pick. And then we had one. Well, who was the guy we had earmarked?
Matavo, the tight end from UCLA. He's a 91 overall card on college football. Not bad. It was a Rivals card. Not bad. Got me through. But, I'm looking for 95s plus now.
And I don't see anybody else in here that would surpass him. Do you? I think that's him. What was he on our board again? Matavo?
He of 180 flat.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, we just got Drew Kendall at 174 and Malik at 180.
That's great value in the 200s, man. No doubt about it. All right, we're going to go Matavo, tight end out of UCLA. So there is the draft, ladies and gentlemen. If I can get this zoomed in where we can actually read it here. Not that. Don't want to click on the link. No, thank you. All right, so we got with the 23rd pick, we went defensive tackle Kenneth Grant out of Michigan. With the 54th pick, we went wide receiver Jaden Higgins out of Iowa State. 87, we went Luke Kandra, guard out of Cincinnati. 123, Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker out of South Carolina. 160, Noel Williams, cornerback out of California. 200, Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, offensive tackle out of Florida. 239, Drew Kendall, center out of Boston College. And at 251, we went Moliki Matavo. That sounds like that needs an ointment applied there. Tied in out of UCLA. So,
I think it's Molokai.
excuse me there, Margaret.
Who?
Jacob over here speaking English like Margaret Thatcher all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Unbelievable. What do y'all think, boys? How you feel about it? Jacob, I want to ask you because you got a lot of guys you like late in the draft and this and that. It seems like when you say, man, I like him, it doesn't really line up with our board. Is it mainly, you think it's mainly PFF grades? Is that what it is that's kind of sticking out?
Yeah, I mean, it's different. I've been trying to do different simulations on different websites, and it's very different. I mean, like Kenneth Grant, you rarely will even see that on PFF. Jaden Higgins is probably there. Demetrius Knight falling to 123. That was one that shocked me quite a bit. And then the same with Drew Kendall. A lot of other sites I've used has him going in maybe the 3rd or 4th round, somewhere around there, maybe 5th. Demetrius Knight doesn't even last past the 2nd in most drafts that I'm doing lately. So interesting to see.
Yeah, no doubt. The big thing that sticks out to me now, when you look at it, well, let's go around the horn. Let's finish this up here. Tim, what do you think about the draft? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What sticks out to you, man?
I like that we got Jaden Higgins. I like that a lot.
Oh, man.
And again, I agree with Jacob. The thought that Kenneth Grant's there at 23 I just don't see it happening, but it is kind of cool that we got him in this mock. So I do like that. I like the Kandra pick, and I like, I might be in the minority here, but I like Crenshaw Dickinson out of Florida too. So I think we got some pretty good talent here. I'd give us like a B-, C+ on this draft, all things considered.
Do you guys think it's weird? I feel like this is too low of players. Like when I look at it, I'm like, we only have like anything under 10. I'm like, man, this isn't a Packers draft. I'm used to seeing like the 10 to 13, you know what I mean, draft picks. And I would not mind us trading back in the 1st or the 2nd round to try to acquire maybe 1 to 3 more picks would be perfect for me.
Run out of space at some point, though, Jacob. We got to put them all on the roster.
That's the big issue, right?
I don't want room.
We got room,
bro.
Nope,
we got room.
But my take on this draft is there was actually a lot sitting at 23. So that decision between D-line, corner, linebacker, that you had a lot of choices there. I think taking Kenneth Grant throws off the rest of the draft. Like Clay's talked about it a lot. If you don't take that corner early, if Barron's sitting there, I think they're going to run that card up, to be honest with you. But I love Kenneth Grant, and I just think that Goody would think that the draft is deeper at D-line and take 2 or 3 shots in the 2nd and the 3rd at D-line maybe, and then, chase it. Especially if Ja's gone, I think he's going to want to try to fill that. Yeah.
Daryl in the chat says, so how does Jaden Higgins fall to day 2 pick, Clay? Like how? LOL, how? We've got him in the 52 spot. So I don't see a scenario where he goes in day 1, me personally. There's a lot of receivers that are ahead of him. The reason he falls in that spot for us, Daniel Jeremiah, former NFL scout, did not have him in his top 50. Okay. So that's suggesting at the highest a mid-round 2nd, kind of where we took him, right? The 33rd team has him at 79. So they've got him like in the 3rd round. And then Dane Brugler had him at 48, which is obviously 2nd round as well. So I don't know of any boards that has Jaden Higgins with a 1st-round grade on him. It doesn't mean that a team won't take him there, but that's how we came up with him at the 52 spot. And PFF, he dominated. He's the 4th highest graded wide receiver in all of college football, but the PFF big board at season's end had him at 54, and the consensus big board had him at 81. So I feel like we've got him in a pretty fair spot. I know Tim's definitely higher on him than any of us. And that size is amazing. And obviously I think he maximizes opportunities at Iowa State. But I don't know, boys. Do y'all feel like he should be higher?
Daryl goes on to say, you do know that Jaden Higgins is a potential day 1 pick, right? Keyword potential.
And who is saying that?
Potentially he could go as high as, end of the 1st round in theory. Potentially he could be an astronaut too. Right. He could be taken number 1 overall, potentially. Anyone can in this draft. But I mean, I don't think it's crazy that we got him here in the 2nd round. I think he's probably a day 2 pick.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to find a bigger Jaden Higgins fan than me on this show. And even I know that I think he's borderline at best for the 1st round. And if he goes 1st round, it's probably going to be late.
Yeah. And my question is simple. Who is saying he's a day 1 pick?
I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Have you guys heard that?
I have not. And maybe it's out there. I just haven't heard it, but I haven't heard anybody say he's a day 1 pick. I think he could be one of those receivers, though, if the Packers took him in the 2nd round. Packers are notorious for finding those guys that just end up being great pros, 8-10-year pros, right? But
yep.
All right, boys, anything else you want to add to this? This was fun, man. I'm glad we did it. And listen, I don't want you guys to think we took that lightly. I know we ran through the super chats. Y'all made this happen. We really, really appreciate it. But this was a lot of fun for sure. I'm glad we did. I'm going to grab a screenshot of it too, and kind of throw it in the database here. That way we got it. Because on the surface, and I think this is what you guys are saying too, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. You look at this and I'm not like overly excited about this draft. I don't look at it and go, yeah, we knocked it out of the park. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like every pick, according to our board, were quality picks. There wasn't any of them that we reached on, right? So I wouldn't be surprised, too, you take someone like a Crenshaw Dixon, who obviously is fairly high on our board, to be able to pick him at 200 here, according to Pro Football Network. That might be the next Zach Tom. You know, Zach Tom didn't wow people with all his measurables and everything and like, oh, this dude's overly physical. It was a technician, and he was very versatile, right? Again, to this day, the only person I remember that spoke highly of Zach Tom going into that draft was Ryan Schlitt. And he kind of found him at the last second, was like, this dude, I really like this Zach Tom guy. So that was fun, though, man. I'm glad we did it. Anything else, boys? Anything at all?
I kind of wish we would have got an edge maybe in that draft. Other than that, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, and remember, we had an opportunity. Who was it with that first pick?
Mike Green or somebody?
No. It was
Sawyer or Mike Green at one point, but yeah.
But remember, in the second round, we could have taken
Landon Jackson.
Mm-hmm. Landon
Jackson.
So we chose Higgins over Landon Jackson, and we did make it clear that, look, we're going Higgins because that was what the chat wanted, but Landon Jackson, hands down, was the best prospect on the board. So you could have went Kenneth Grant, Landon Jackson, and in that case, with that specific draft, what if you do sign Tay for $15 million? Then you don't really need Jaden Higgins, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you kind of load up on defense. I like that too. So I think Emilio is just still depressed that Mimbo didn't drop. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty devastated, but it's okay. We'll figure out. I mean, we still brought in 3 O-linemen, but it's not going to matter. Travis Glover's ready to play, so I mean, it's
Luke Andra to the practice squad, huh?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, so shout out to all the superstars tonight that made this happen. Chris N, Ron Samble, Willen Al Swiderski, United Bates with the big dono. Thank you, sir. Hit him with that Duval one more time, boys. He earned
Duval.
That's so cringe. Jason Y said, do it. Chris N again, 4 of 5, 2-0 for this. Do the most unrealistic mock ever. We did not, sir, but we appreciate the dono. Mm-hmm. We actually did the most boring mock ever that made the most sense. Carly Ray chipping in as well, and 2-0 for this again. Donate this to science, and we will. We'll donate it to a lab in Wuhan. How about that? That sound good?
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Evidently, those folks aren't either. All right, boys, thank you for your time. Jacob's over there itching. That ain't good. Hey, wear the shampoo for 2 weeks, okay? We're out of here. Everybody take care.
And we go.
Bye, guys.